All right, folks, welcome to the green room. If you are here, Ryan Maxwell. Hey, happy Saturday. Shoe fell off. Hashtag Wollengate. Hashtag no. Liars.
2023.
You people. We're going to have to do a whole video on it. That's just it. You nut jobs and your conspiracy theories. Glad we can have you. I figure since baked salmon was off this week, we'd fill the spot. Otherwise, I would not encroach on the territory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, respect for the family.
And, yes.
But we got some good stuff. By request, I couldn't find any haircutting videos per Allison Marie Armstrong, but I landed on the grassy knoll. I think I saw it when Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon. Like it was floating like behind his right shoulder, I believe. Like maybe it was on the flag even.
Oh, yeah.
Something was up with that shoe. It definitely never left his foot, though, because I definitely saw Wolin in the shoe floating behind the astronauts at the time. So, I mean, there's that. There is that.
He was looking for his broken sunglasses.
What's called empirical. No, he doesn't care about those. Those Ray-Bans, he's like, fuck $260.
I'm a doctor,
and I'm going to beat this. And they handcuffed his hands to his waist and, you know, had to make a really difficult phone call, both physically and mentally.
Don't bring the girls.
Yeah, it's a $30,000 check. Don't bring the girls.
Don't bring the girls. Didn't do anything.
I bet Dell was like, I hope his shoe falls off onto my foot because my toe is completely wrecked.
Yeah.
Just slipped through the air right onto Dell's foot. It was a perfect fit, and that's how Dell was Cinderella.
Oh.
Cinderella. Dellarella? Cinderdell. I'm ready to hear. Oh, yeah. I'm glad. Hello. Welcome for your first day. This is technically the part of the day where no one's clocking in, but everybody expects you to be there a little early. So It's like everybody's getting the shit out of their bags and
you're sitting there filling out your direct deposit paperwork.
What? Yeah, basically, you're getting your notepads
W-2s filled out.
My shoe didn't do something, but it did something stupid. Don't bring the cobbler. Don't bring the cobbler. Oh, those New Balances heard around the world. What you might probably hear some ice clinking. It's you're gonna see what's going on here tonight, but it's for management only. P.S.
Yeah, no drinking on the job for anybody but us.
Yeah, this is gonna be a serious business.
Business.
Serious? Well, no, not business is not involved. I'm
business.
I'll be glad
I just
when
like
her
her
flame
name.
burns out. Well, because obviously she picked it to be obnoxious, and that's why I'm not a fan. So I'm not a fan. Like whatever. Here's the thing about like Sarah Boone. She is a genuine clown, and she has the quality that you need from a genuine clown, which is obliviousness to that.
Yes.
Shabusiness gave us a little like wink to fourth wall by changing her name to Shabusiness.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the spit mask? Well, she was probably spitting at somebody, right? I mean, come on.
Her sentencing hearing was at 9:30, and they didn't show up. She didn't show up until like 10:30 or something, way after. So something must have happened in between then. Okay. I'll let up now. If you're ever looking for a great training video, there's one on YouTube from the Chicago area grocery store chain called We watched it yesterday.
This predates Jewel Osco. This was just Jewel. This is before Jewel and Osco became a dual entity. But yeah, I remember them as Jewel Osco. So not for nothing, point me in that direction and I'll get to it. But I've got a couple of really good ones set up for you tonight. I'm not going to... let's get things ready here. So buckle
the one
up.
yesterday was pretty funny.
They're all great. It's like that's the thing. There was let's just start the show.
Dog. Cat. Mouse. Turtle.
see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Yeah, we are muted. I always forget that because I don't get turned off in the headphones.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Pepe. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. It was Dave, my manager, Dervis, and yada, yada, yada. We're going to be doing yada. Damn it. Every damn time. I got to remember which buttons I'm pushing. But moral of the story is, hi, I'm going to be your manager for this training session. Your co-manager, Krista over there.
Assistant manager.
Assistant to the regional manager, if you will, sitting over there on the manager's chair. Let's get real about some stuff here. First of all, let's keep celebrating Tony if he ever shows up. There he is.
Tony.
So here we are, people. It's the big night. Big Salmon is in absentia, so we are going to fill in the void a little bit. And here's some good news too. I've got some stuff that I didn't think I'd have. Decon was out with the defense minute last time, but in a pinch, he released it. And here's the thing. I'm a little pissed at him because he slips me the link and I go, great. He's giving me exclusive release rights, right? I go, oh, nice. But then he throws it in my regular Discord and it's just a regular video on YouTube. And I go, am I even special to you, Decon? I mean, I gave you the idea of tactical thongs and you treat me like garbage.
Oh, he is dressed for the occasion. We just got that jacket today.
Yeah, just got this, baby. How do you like it? I'm wearing a tie that I'm sad that you can't see the pinstripes for.
It's very nice.
Anywho, I would wear my new hat, but it doesn't go over the headphones very well.
It's true.
Got this classic 70s glass. We're having some cocktails, management only. Guys, let's keep it real.
Hey, Joe.
What's up, Joe?
Since you've seen the Jewel video, I'd highly recommend the Circuit City DIVX training video. It's amazing.
The Circuit City one's pretty classic. I do a lot of, not a lot, a fair amount. I mean, how much is a lot? Be real. Get off my back. Here. Anyway, it's time for Decon's Defense Minute. Let me make it all big for you guys.
Decon's Defense, 34 seconds.
34 seconds. But here's the thing. When you're out there in the parking lot, you're going to need to know how to defend yourself because it's... And by it, I mean the office is in a brutal part of town. So watch out and listen to Decon. Here we go.
Watch your six.
All right, let's check this out. So here we have a pimp that was beating up that girl, and then Jay Lee was giving an instructional on how to defend yourself, and then he walks over and he's going to show him why he's the pimp in these streets.
Of course, I'm blocking most of it, so I apologize.
Looks like that did not go well for him. Well... So anyway, so now we see him getting up, and he's going to go back, and he's going to intimidate him with his words. Well, all right, never mind. Good night. Good.
Nice.
I think it's hilarious. I don't know. I'm sure he's adding those. I don't know where he's getting them from, but straight to my heart with the hilarious sound effects, much like this.
Cool.
Yeah, how I love my sound drops. I've got a couple I got to grab from Salmon from the last reading or two because they have been nothing but classic.
And apparently the one I clipped wasn't good enough.
It just sounded like it was ratcheted down to like 44 kbs. It was really like...
Oh, weird. It sounded fine on my end, but...
It sounded like from old time radio, but not. Like new time shitty-o is what it sounded like. So, moral of the story is, let me clue you in on what we are going to be doing tonight. We got a Kroger training video, and then we have a little bit of training from a market that no longer exists. However, the skills are probably transferable, so you'll still get store credit, right? Come on, chill out. The A&P is what I'm talking about. But the first one is Kroger. And they're part of Fry's if you're local to Arizona or something. I don't know if they still own that or if they're just closely tied to it.
They still own it. And there's actual Kroger stores probably in like the middle north.
Yeah, that's the thing. Every region has their own like big brand generic. Because there's a bunch of generics, but like Kroger is the big brand generic that fights with all the other things in Fry's or whatever. Like in Walmart, it's Great Value or whatever. Target has their generic brand, but Kroger is like beyond.
Good and Gather is Target.
Yeah, whatever. Kroger's all over the place. That's the thing about it. It's crazy.
I don't think it's on the East Coast.
Let's not pick nits, people. We're just here to learn. It's your first day. Get off my back. I'm just your manager. You have lives.
Hello, America. Today, thousands will try, but few will make it as Select Media Services' best merchandiser. Let's discover who's going to be America's not-so-idle merchandiser. Today's competition is at the Kroger retail food chain. Judging the competition will be the persnickety and downright nasty Englishman, Simon Growl.
Since this was the 90s or whatever, this doesn't feel like the 90s. This must be like the early 2000s.
Yeah, Simon Growl.
Simon Growl. I thought this was older. Sorry. I know the A&P is older. We'll make up for it later. But, whatever. Sorry.
Well, thanks for that
I would have something vintage.
Twit.
Our second judge is an SMS celebrity, Paula Not Cool. Welcome, Paula.
Thank you, Bob.
Contestants are vying for the top spot as SMS's not-so-idle merchandiser.
Hi.
First, we have Willie Make It. Willie traveled cross-country from Goose Egg, Iowa to compete here tonight. Good luck.
He's one of those dudes who wears like this all like, everybody has AirPods in all the time now, so it's not a weird thing. But back when Bluetooth was new, if you saw someone wearing it all the time, they were either important or they were obnoxious because they just left it there to dangle like a Christmas ornament in June, right? Because the people who were, necessitated them were always talking on them because that's why they had them. But like, I don't know. This is a
He's got Lauren's Bluetooth, says
he
Ryan
totally does. He borrowed it while he's will he make it? No, because he's using Lauren's Bluetooth.
This is filmed in Iowa? Jesus, I knew it. My state is so goddamn lame.
Good luck, Willie.
In your face, Betty. I'm going to be America's next top merchandiser.
Our second contestant is Betty Don't. Betty is a part-time sister to a family of 13 in Atlanta and full-time...
Part-time sister?
Yeah, the other part-time's at Kroger.
Good luck to you today, Betty.
That's what you think, Willie. I'm going to be America's top merchandiser. Chew on that.
Chew on that. I'm going to kick you in the taint.
The first thing that they have to do for the competition today, Simon, is call in from the customer service desk phone.
Let's get on with it already. I've got a tea time at 2. Who's up first? Oh, the bloke.
Cool it.
What are we learning? What are we learning?
How to make a really long phone call.
Seriously, this is like one of those comedy phone calls you'd see in like Top Secret.
Simon. Yes, Willie's logging into the IVR with his ID.
God. I hate IVRs.
Password, chain, and store number as we...
Jesus Christ!
76 numbers.
1,700 numbers! Your 16-digit ID, your 14-digit passcode, you need your chain number, which is no less than 14, but no more than 37 characters, and your store number, which contains a couple of letters. Don't forget your alpha prefix.
He's calling the Pentagon.
Seriously, look at all the stuff he has to enter. Hell, one of those is definitely related to or as long as a social security number.
Right.
Holy crap! His finger should be smoking with how many numbers he has to enter with how fast he's going.
Because my ID number for work is 6 numbers already.
Yeah, so cut him some slack, people. Learn something from the man. He's your example. Quit, give him some slack.
Who might want to try
Quit
out
stopping
for
the video
American
audience.
not-so-idle merchandiser? Remember that the chain number will vary by state or region.
So what if he can't figure what the number is?
Well, he can refer to the IVR training manual, which obviously he doesn't need.
He's bloody lucky he is.
He's been dialing for minutes. Do you think he'll finish anytime soon?
Hey, just caught him. He must carry his badge in a visible location at all times.
His butt.
clipped to his back pocket is not very visible.
It's
What if he
early in
wants
the
people to look at
competition,
his butt?
Simon. Try not to eliminate him
He just
yet.
clocked on,
We
man.
should let
Give him a
future
break.
competitors know that they should wear their...
Like, what is she wearing? One of those tents? Like, from, like, what, elementary gym class? Like, yeah, that's probably what happened. She was like a pre-K, not pre-K, like K through 12, like charter school. She was like their drama teacher. And she's like, got fired under mysterious circumstances. And then when, like, the day she left, mysteriously, like the athletic parachute was, no longer in its place in the sports closet. I think we found it, people.
Betty's looking rough
Their
today.
select media badge for
Betty don't, right? Betty don't.
SMS accounts and their newsgroup badge for TNG
Betty
accounts.
do it in the road.
It's time to move on to the receiving portion of the competition. Here, Betty is getting new products from the receiving area.
Who left their Gatorade here? That's against P&P. Like, maybe these are go-backs, but again, why would there just be one Gatorade? What is this? Like a shoe? Like a moccasin?
It's one shoe, yeah.
Yeah. Like, can you take this back to the moccasin aisle and find its counterpart? What kind of store is this?
Specifically, Drug General Merchandise,
Kroger
also known as
moccasins?
Drug GM.
When it comes to receiving, Kroger stores may vary. The Drug GM area of the store is often in the back,
Around
near
the
the meat
back.
department.
They're receiving it around
You
the
sailed
back.
through the first part of the competition,
Whoa.
Betty.
It's
What are
woolen
some tips
shoe.
to get
Oh
you
my
through this
God,
portion?
it made it to Iowa.
Well, as you can see, I have an invoice that was left here by the driver, and I take this invoice and I match it up with the totes that are left by the driver,
It's totes awesome.
and make sure that the product here goes with this store that I'm working today.
I can see
Work on those totes.
the store number and the address on the label.
Whoa.
Betty uses
Look
that
how
to
long the
verify
store
the
number
order.
is.
And if
Yeah, that's why we saw the dude at the phone for... I feel like he's
still doing it.
Yeah, we'll check in with him later in the competition. Like, Betty's going to be blowing through, like, jumping through hoops and, like, shooting arrows and stuff. And he'll still be like, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. My toads, my toads. So she's like, her hair's on fire from one of those flaming rings.
if she doesn't see it, she calls her
She
supervisor.
doesn't do it.
Look at Willie. I think he received a tote for another store.
Oh
Hopefully
my
he'll set it
God.
aside for the driver to pick up.
Nope.
Looks like he did. He's not wasting
Take
any
that.
time notifying his supervisor and calling the customer service number found on his paperwork.
He's calling his own shots. He's a
This
real
poor
maverick.
guy has to call all the numbers.
Hello? Oh, God, more phones. Willie.
Unless he's calling for carryout.
Will he call
I could
him?
use a
Yes.
pizza right now. I've got a gig at 11.
Now,
Both of these voices sound like Texas speech, right? That guy sounds like British
Yeah.
MS Sam.
Yeah.
if he didn't
yeah.
have an invoice, he should
He's
have
the
called
best at
customer
calling.
service to have a
Calling.
copy faxed.
Good. He's the best.
You call this number
the
and then
store.
type in
That
your
call
ID
could help
number
make him
and then your
America's
store
not
number.
so idle
Birthday,
merchandiser.
numeric digit
Oh,
code, and
look at those
binary.
totes. I love the colors.
more
They
totes.
match my outfit.
Well, with feet like yours, you could wear them as shoes.
Damn,
the
bitch.
totes are what most of the books and magazines are delivered in, although we get an occasional box or two.
Thanks, smart guy. Looks like they've got a light load. Delivery can range from 2 or 3, sometimes up to 30 totes. It's interesting to note that the blue shoes, totes, jerk, are sometimes the same color
This is
used by
all over the
Kroger's
place.
Peyton warehouse.
fuck
Betty
are
and
we
Willie need to
reading
be
for
sure
here?
they keep TNG's totes.
Putting totes
Hello,
into
don't
carts.
you know how to be a Kroger yet? Why are we asking these questions? First of all, know your totes. Second of all, look at your papers. Third of all, you're going to be punching in a lot of numbers on phones.
Yeah.
Hello? Is anybody taking totes notes?
Totes notes.
separate.
Jesus.
Hey,
Look at
Caleb.
those labels on the totes,
Your
Paula.
manager.
Those labels are letting
What's
Willie
up?
and Betty know if there are books or magazines inside.
I thought it
Mags.
was the color
Magnum
of the tote.
Let's Let's check in with Willie to see how he's doing.
You guys are
I'm
not
Maria
feeling
from
confident
Sesame
in this position.
Listen, you're the one who applied. Just relax and let the video do its work. We're 4 minutes in. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I can be a Kroger.
I could be a Kroger.
Give it a second. I didn't put on a tie for nothing. Chill. It's your first day. Damn it.
Hey, Paula. Making sure I know who I'm working with at this store.
Paula Pound Sand, right, guys? Pound Sand? Is that a good reference?
So it's true that check-in and check-out varies by store and by division?
That's right. In some
The end.
stores, it'll be the receiver. In others, it'll be the drug GM. So that's why it's very important that you're supposed to know who you're working with in each store.
That's great advice. Thanks, Willie.
And
What's my job, Willie?
on that note,
I'm
make
getting a little
sure the
curious.
drug GM or receiver knows that you are in the store and that he or
Every delivery person, though, now that you see this lady here, this lovely collared lady, every time you see a delivery person, don't they look like this with the collared short sleeve shirt and like a long tee underneath? Like it's like industry standard. I don't care if you work for Coke or Pepsi. One thing everybody agrees on is like the polo and the long sleeve tee
Yeah.
underneath.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's like an unwritten rule. I'm a Kroger, he's a Kroger, she's a Kroger. Wouldn't you like to be a Kroger too?
Yeah. Hello, Dr. Kroger.
Who's Willie is she checking on?
or she has checked in the books prior to you servicing
Nice
them.
totes,
Look
Willie.
at what Betty is doing right now.
What?
She's making sure Kroger personnel runs the store DSD through the back door, which means the payment for this product is processed. The DSD is placed.
That's like a wild over explanation for sticking a piece of paper half out of a tote, right? She just processed a whole back order of rear end receiving shipments.
She received the shit out of that box.
It looked
tote.
just like nothing. Aren't you feeling a little more confident in this job? You do this and they'll call it, a Fiona Apple album.
Betty likes it run through the back door.
Yeah, oh boy, does she ever. That's why, receiving is for a very select type of person. Betty knows. Willie,
In the news group
Willie,
folder
get
or
it in.
tote
Allison's in
designated
love
for
with the red
paperwork
walls.
for the driver to see on the next visit.
It makes them
It's an
violent.
extremely
They have to
important
burn
step.
through a lot of
Like
personnel.
Betty here, contestants
God.
must complete this process before they service the books.
This dude sounds exactly like the voice at Sky Harbor Airport.
Yeah.
If you have any liquids, perishables, gate 817. Like, this feels so... Couldn't they just find a guy?
You'd think. Anyone else imagining the Backdoor Lover song from Josie in the Pussycats movie?
Yo, I haven't seen that movie in so long, but it was jerking. I remember that. Turning all you pervs into human resources.
To ensure TNG is paid for this product.
TNG?
But the magazines don't need to be checked
Shut
in,
up, Wesley.
So you may want to start with them first.
Okay, so I feel like we're in magazine management. So there's your answer, Allison. I believe we are magazine managers.
Willie is doing here.
It looks like both Betty and Willie are ready to place all of the shipped product on the sales floor.
This isn't even Single Dare, right? With Mark Winters.
Because there is no backstock in the Kroger program.
Yeah, K&G, Kroger, the next generation. Ba, 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 ba. I like Captain Kroger better than the other one.
Why don't they
even
take
I
the
know
totes?
That one, Miss Smarty Britches.
It's like
when Mr. Harmon can't come on the floor after 9 o'clock. You don't bring totes. Don't bring these totes. Like, I would rather
loose-ass
see
magazines.
Yeah, in a cart. Like, that's more appealing. They go, oh, what's in there? You see some dirty ass tote? No. They'll stay in the back. Give me a break. Don't question the video. Why is everybody questioning the video? It's your first day. Stop making waves, people. God.
And the only
Yeah, hello, Paula Poundson, Mark Winters.
Yes, Mr. Harmon. Yes.
Maybe you're catching on.
exception would be
Wait, what?
Book of the Month or
Was
Spotlight
that an Are You Being
titles.
Served reference? Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
totally
Mr.
was.
Harmon.
Yeah, of course. Hello, Mr. Harmon. Not supposed to be on the floor after 9 o'clock. He took over for the guy with the mustache.
With the little guy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Baldrick
Which, of
was
course,
his
would be my
dog's body.
best-selling book.
Oh, look at this glorious mullet. That's a 2002 vintage 2002 mullet.
I think she just
Mr.
has a
Max,
headband
Thank you. Everybody loves Are You Being Served, Ryan Maxwell. That's the one thing that we can all come together on. You know how Coke and Pepsi drivers wear the long sleeve under the short sleeve polo. Woolens Gate weirdos and normal people like me can all agree. How are you being served? 2 managers. Yeah, hello. This is the glory days. Like, this is like the internet is still not trusted. Magazines are go-to for video games, for beauty. Everything you go to the internet now, the magazines were there for. So yeah, I see 2, 3, 4 people just magazining their shit all day.
Mr. Humphreys, are you free?
Are you free? I'm free.
I'm free.
Men's
As a
well.
merchandiser.
That sounds like such a motivational book.
Oh, stick it in your ear, dear.
Let's get these future merchandising idols
you,
to
Mr.
the
Gates.
next part of the
You're doing
competition,
very well.
the displays.
Kroger has several types of displays
Look at all those
that vary by
magazines,
store
people.
and region.
Although all of the various displays are important sales opportunities,
Whoa, I can recognize a Bieber anywhere. Look at that Bieber cut.
the key displays
keeping it
are
Beeb.
the main line, featured towers or pockets, book of the month fixture, and
The Dan Brown shelf and the, oh God, was John Grisham aisle.
checkouts.
Oh,
If it's
Allison
your first
doesn't
time
know.
servicing,
Are you being served?
Did you just grow up in a place where PBS didn't
That
exist?
was a question on the application, Allison. And
Like,
you lied.
hello? Yeah, like you said your "Are you being served?" credentials would check out. Now here you are. What are we? 6 minutes into the first day, you're like, "Oh, by the way, who's Mr. Humphreys?" This is like if I hired you as a wedding photographer and you opened up a bag and pulled out like a tissue box with a toilet paper tube taped to it. And you're like, who's ready for fun? You're fired.
confirm with your supervisor which displays are in your store.
Good news. Here, the spoiler alert, though. Every episode of Are You Being Served is free on YouTube.
Yeah.
You have time to check it before our next meeting.
Yeah.
Additional displays may include
The
pill
pill
book
book.
display or a whole health end cap in the pharmacy.
What
the
pills do
cookbook
you
spinner,
need?
And a book and magazine wine rack. Some Mid-South and Mid-Atlantic division stores may have a Random House children's power panel located near the diaper or baby aisle or an American Girl spinner.
Children's House power panel? It's a bookshelf, right?
Yes.
They know how to sell shit. Remember when she put the piece of paper in the tote? I can't even remember half of what she said. It's a power panel of books.
An American Girl doll
The
spinner.
majority of Kroger's Atlanta stores also have a Southern Living Power Wing located on the end of the aisle.
Power Wing.
That's where I'm going to retire. After I leave Kroger, I've already got 15 years in, so I only need 12 more to get fully tenured. I'm moving to the Southern Power Wing. You know, get a little place by the ocean, get a little boat, sand it, wait for Morgan Freeman to show up. You know, not for nothing.
In various locations.
There's
Power
the most
panel.
important
Electric
cross
guitar.
merch-
Wait, hold on. I think I might have one of those. Give me a sec. Hold on.
Vamp, vamp, vamp.
That's not it.
Nope. Still fun.
Wait. Power panel.
There you go.
Merchandising book rack for all stores. In Atlanta, this fixture is called the lobby table. For all other divisions, this is called the Book of the Month bestseller spinner.
Oh, God. Hold on.
Oh,
Guys,
my
we're having a meltdown.
God. You're getting the whole thing.
We have to listen to it all. I tried to stop it. It wouldn't. Sorry. I stole that from Decon. He was at the power panel. All right. Seriously, guys, this is about work.
Get your
Knock
shit
it up.
together,
Get your shit
boss.
together. Boss?
Yeah, I'm as your assistant manager
Yeah.
telling you to get your shit together.
Hey, don't make me pull out Prison Mike.
Select Central stores have an additional front entrance
My version
table.
of Prison
This
Turf,
table has
actually,
the Book
is-
of the Month and Spotlight titles, media picks, and
Oh my God,
feature
James
book
Patterson.
titles.
Uh-huh.
It can either be
Obviously,
located
at
near
a
the front
grocery store.
entrance or
Don't forget to restack the purpose-driven life for all the grandmothers.
checkout area.
And finally, each Kroger store has magazines
Best
at the
Buy
checkouts.
gift
The
cards.
number of pockets and title selections will vary by store.
They've gotten
Some
a lot
checkouts will
smaller
have a
in the
pocket
later
with a
years of
feature
2020.
logo. Read your weekly Kroger newsletter for titles for this space. For more about checkout
Well, looks good.
planograms
They're all
by
pretty
division
sturdy.
and by store, go to the SMS Biz site.
Yeah, as if.
We're back at the main line with Betty and Willie. Let's see how things are
We're
going.
mainlining it with Betty and
Well,
Willie.
you know, ever since I found my Kroger account newsletter and the book reorder forms, it's just been all downhill from there.
Great, Willie.
What?
You know, Betty, I get that newsletter too. It has the magazine and book information we need to service this entire store.
Thank you both.
Looks like Betty and Willie have a little cleaning up to do. Better than...
There's one magazine knocked over.
Now that I found my secret hidden panel,
Oh
I
my
use it all the
God.
time.
Because you have a hair appointment at 9, right, Simon? Anyway,
shut up.
they're removing anything that gets in the way of completing their service.
Children, the elderly, everything. Nothing will stand in the way of them cleaning up the magazine rack.
Stock the new James Patterson as they come out every 5 minutes.
Yeah, here's the thing. That dude has so many ghostwriters. He's like R.L. Stine, but for adults. Just a factory of less than 12, but more than 6 people writing books under somebody else's name.
Title selections will vary from store to store. One store has a manager, and another store has the almighty grand poobah of the holy grocery leadership.
Yeah, that's the another thing about the grocery industry. There's no standardization. It's like law enforcement. It depends on the budget, what the overhead is, your profit margins. Like, hey, when you see bacon go on sale for $5.99, like that doesn't just like the money that we give away doesn't come back to us in the form of wishes.
Most magazines will have an end date on the
Jesus,
cover
guys.
or a sale month on the spine.
Looks like
2010.
Betty
There
is
we go.
unsure, so she's looking at the
We
invoice.
nailed it.
Willie's ahead of the game. He knows the new Entertainment Week.
That's a lot of magazines for 2010. I was figuring this is 2002, 2005.
Yeah, this looks like Barnes & Noble magazine area.
Do you think they shot this in 2001, but doctored up the magazines to as their best guess of what the future would look like?
No.
They nailed it with Obama on the cover if this was 2001, right?
Weekly magazine.
Hell of a guess
So he's
that
switching
Kroger
it out.
made.
However, as a weekly, this title should be placed on the front shelf.
Look at the speed in which Willie is dropping the magazines on the main line.
He's got to make sure that they are placed on the display by category or topic.
Like all magazines about me are together, and the one magazine about you is in the back.
In your dreams, Simon.
But Willie seems to be slacking. All magazines should be full-faced, no overlapping, and no space between titles.
Willie's moving too fast and carefully.
What if someone comes in looking for a Beads magazine, looks at this, and goes, well, that's simply Beach magazine. I'm looking for beads, and they don't have it. Hello, paper crap? Right?
Willie is cheating.
Yeah, not only is he cheating, but this is slack. Like, look at the angles are all off. Like, the overlap is garbage. Like, no, this is 404, file not found, bad employee.
Careless. He
101.
should know that overlapping may be caused by not pulling
Not
returns,
101.
and that should be checked first.
Willie needs to ensure there is no outdated product on the display. If it turns out he has a distribution issue, he should report it to customer service at the number on the screen.
And you know he's sneaking all of those sexy M&M magazines back home so he can cut them all out and line his bathroom with them. Willie's got some problems.
Now we're off to the registers.
Betty came through with flying colors on the main line, and it looks like she'll hand...
Well, this one's impossible to fuck up because there's, metal separating the magazines. You can't... There's no room for error. What's going on here? I smell corruption in Big Kroger, and I work for him.
Nobody
And the
likes an
register's the
outdated
same
Willie.
way.
Phone
All of the
numbers.
magazines at the register fixtures are planogrammed, so filling the pockets should be easy for both.
You plan the gram, then you gram the plan, then you work the gram plan, and you plan the work gram. It's not that hard, guys.
of
Welcome to
them.
Kroger.
If they're short on copies, they should contact customer service.
Paula, looks like Betty's hit a
We don't give our stores copiers, so that's why they have to call for anyone who asks.
snag. She's out of a checkout title just when she was doing so well.
She's not out yet, Simon. She's reviewing the publisher's substitute list, which contains other magazine choices available to fill a space paid for by a publisher. I believe her supervisor gave her a copy.
Betty's been very good at checking all the details. She pays attention to the checkout lane priority sequence.
She looks at how depressed Tiger Woods is and how skeletal Celine Dion is. She makes sure that everyone's getting freaked out in self-checkout today.
At opening.
You're right, Simon. Most Kroger stores open the U-Scan registers first, so she's making sure those magazine pockets are full.
I've noticed that in my travels there are certain regular checkout lanes that are more heavily shopped than others. Like Betty here, Willie should be packing out those checkout lanes while using copies more sparingly at the registers that are seldom open.
For once, Simon, sage advice. Let's see how the gang
For
is doing.
once? Now she's on board with this cat fighting? I don't like it. It's a toxic atmosphere.
I think she's
I've moved
the
all the
other
magazines.
person.
No, really? Her voice sounds so different. I thought they were both AIs. I'm new here too, people.
Around at the checkout, in which I do every visit, ensuring that all the pockets have copies.
And you, Betty?
This is nothing new for me. This is basic merchandising. The only difference is that I make sure that the copies are pulled forward so that the divider does not show.
And the apron you're wearing, that's in case the magazine suddenly explodes and splatter you with magazine juice? Or like, what's that about, right? You're a magazine lady. You're not a butcher.
You heard it here first, Simon.
And P.S., Willie, who's calling you? Pull that shit out of your ear. Get that Bluetooth out, pull that apron off, and do your jobs.
Simon, the competition's been stepped up a few notches.
Both of them need to pay close attention to other displays placed in
The
front
Reese's
of the checkouts.
Pieces.
Make
We need E.T. on the case.
Yeah.
sure they are at least 2 feet out
Magazine Juice was your nickname in high school.
from the checkout rack so the magazines are
I still remember that sound.
visible. Otherwise, they can have a negative effect on the register's magazine
I can't see
sales.
magazines
If this
through
becomes
Reese's
a
Pieces.
problem, report it to customer service.
Who, like, annoying, right? Hey, if you see literally anything like that, anybody working there aside from the manager would care about, like, hey, call our hotline, right? If you see too many Reese's Pieces blocking Keith Urban or Tom Cruise or other people's beach bodies, narc.
Now it's time for the magazine return
I'm
portion
going to burn
of the
that Reese's
competition.
display to the ground.
As you know, Simon, the magazines at Kroger are part of the Scan-Based Trading Program, or SBT.
Of course we all
This
know
means
that.
that Kroger has only paid for the magazines that are scanned through their registers. In order to
Well, all stolen magazines, no credit.
Nope.
avoid shrink and for TNG to receive credit for the magazines that
With all these
didn't
phone
sell,
numbers, you could do
all
a live
unsold
FFOP call to
magazines need
see
be
what kind
returned
of
for
response
proof
you
of
get.
that
It's the same
non-sale.
number every
Betty
time.
and Willie have taken all the old magazines off the shelves, so they are no longer on sale.
Now they're taking the returns back to the drug GM area. You know, it's
Same
interesting
Gatorade.
that some Kroger divisions require that the merchandisers complete the return process and others do not.
They'll need to refer to individual Kroger division return procedures for more information.
The magazines must be placed in the magazine totes in their entirety. That means covers intact. They should seal the totes and leave them to be returned to the warehouse by the TNG delivery drivers.
What do they do with them? They're outdated bullshit.
That's the thing. So back in the day when I worked at Zia Records, like, you know, you love him. He's my co-host on Raiders of the Lost Genre. Scott Vaughn was like, he was in charge of the magazine rack. So he would get all this stuff. And, you know, I got a lot of stuff from that because all they wanted back then, which was like, I don't know, 2004 through 6, you know, the heyday of the 2000s, you just sent them the covers back. But we didn't get as, you know, 2 aisles worth. So I don't know what it was worth. I never saw any totes. It was totes lame. I don't know what they got sent to and from in, but the shipping cost, like, here's all the ones that you didn't sell. That's so many pounds that you're just shipping. And so what are they going to do? Like, oh, you're going to grind them back up and reuse them?
Right. What, like,
No way.
no.
This
Just
is a
being
nice
stingy.
surprise. Willie is
I
keeping
just don't want people to share in the fun of 86 easy puzzles to solve.
titles together so they can easily be counted by the warehouse staff when they're returned.
Now for the more demanding part of our competition, the book service.
Oh,
God.
boy.
This service will
Buckle
make
up,
or break
people.
both of our contestants.
You know, Paula, you keep bringing up this Kroger newsletter. Why is it so bloody important?
The newsletter is considered to be the most important tool needed for servicing a Kroger store. For the book service, it explains what new books will arrive in the order and where they should be placed.
It looks like Willie has a bestseller reorder form. I take it it's included with the newsletter?
That's right, Simon. It also functions as the bestseller planogram.
Nailing
Betty's
it, Simon.
jumped right
Do you
in,
work here?
servicing the
He's
book
got to
of the
call
month
the
fixture
number and
first.
request
This
it.
fixture includes some of the newest books on sale, such as the book of
Working books are a lot like working magazines, but they're thicker. So you'll have to open your hand a little more. You know? What else is there about it?
the month or Spotlight, as well as other featured titles.
That means my book will show up on that fixture. That's bloody wonderful.
You're an
Great.
AI.
His head just keeps getting bigger. If you're watching Betty, she's displaying those titles on the National Laydown or on
If you're not watching Betty, we don't blame you.
The
sale
national
dates
laydown.
on that exact date.
If a merchandiser is not servicing the store on that date, he or she needs to make sure the drug GM is aware so that the store will set the titles out on the Book of the Month or BOM fixture.
Willie's taking the extra effort to follow up. He'll confirm on his next
I don't get it, because every time we check in with Willie, he's a goddamn wild card. We're either checking in and he's totally blowing it from, soup to nuts, or he's going above and beyond for something that doesn't seem that important.
Yeah.
Like, how many people are breaking down the doors of a Kroger to get it, like, December? I assume this says December. No, that's Debbie McComber's
Debbie
new
McComber,
book.
yeah.
Or Cook This, Not That. Like, hey, Willie, you're a little behind on the books. Like, what's up with that? I see Cook This, Not That, and not the new...
Not this, cook that.
What are we doing? Ram Jam?
Ram Jam and Spider Babe both sang a song about her.
That's true. So it's Kroger Betty.
next visit that all copies were displayed, and if not, he'll place the remaining titles at that time.
I believe this is the only time product may be left in backstock.
New
no
Book
one's
of the
there.
Month and bestseller signage also
Only when there's literally no room for it anywhere else. No shit. Like, these are all just like physical constraints, right?
Yes.
I would have filled my closet with clothes, but if I have too much, it'll have to go in my bed. That's like not company policy. You're just out of options.
also needs to be placed on the BOM fixtures.
One of the totes or a cardboard shipper will contain any feature signage that needs to be set with these titles.
Merchandisers will receive 2 shelf talkers for each Book of the Month or Spotlight title that will have 30 or 40% discount pricing.
But then again, would it like kill them and be like, hey, here's a printer for the office with a color ink cartridge. We'll email you a PDF.
When setting these books, they need to place them with this signage on the proper fixtures.
These titles are paperbacks, hardbacks, or trade paper titles. Both Betty and Willie are placing them on both the bestseller display and BOM fixture.
Nicholas Sparks.
Well, our contestants will have to be careful here, since Kroger is required to sell a book.
This is like a greatest hits of like grocery store authors. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, this is to books what the middle of the day is for television, where it's just like The Price is Right, let's make a deal, all that cheesy
Soap
shit.
operas.
Yeah, or like The View, or just basically just gabfest and garbage.
Yeah.
Come on
Price
down to
listed.
Kroger.
TAG could be fined for any discount signage not removed by the scheduled expiration date and the book sells at the wrong price. That can be an expensive mistake, Paula.
It certainly can be. Here,
Yeah, you stand to lose up to 25% of a $13 book. And then they'd give you a fine on top of that.
My God.
Don't fuck with Kroger. We'll break your legs.
talker, Betty is referring to the weekly notes and looking at the shelf talker to determine when it should be removed. The notes let her
I am a little jealous, Kayla. Thank you for pointing that out.
know to remove the copies from the BOM fixture, refill the bestseller sections, and return leftovers.
Ooh, Nora
Looks
Roberts,
like
how
Willie is
obscure.
moving ahead of
Oh
Betty
my
and is
God.
ready for the next
Hold on, I got a call from my book dealer.
step, which is servicing the bestseller fixture. Some stores, like this one, may be on an end cap.
As you know, Simon, bestsellers are determined on a weekly basis and must be switched out accordingly.
As you may not know, an end cap is a cap at the end of an aisle where product is placed, but it's nowhere near as cool as a Southern Power Bottom.
It looks like the weekly notes have helped Willie determine the position of every
My
title.
notes!
Merchandisers also get a bestseller card each month, but the
This
weekly
signage is
list
ugly. Pull that
rarely
down.
matches
Come
this
on.
card entirely due to the different title release dates.
After placing the hardback bestsellers horizontally, Willie places the Kroger bestseller card back in position for customers to see.
Vertically.
I've noticed that most of the books will stay on the rack 2 to 3 months. It will be necessary for merchandisers to watch for low product and reorder.
Both Willie and Betty should have received new titles listed in their notes for the feature planogram. These are top-selling titles that did not make the bestseller list for the month.
These are
Some
top
of these
sellers.
titles
These are
will-
today's hottest grocery store hits.
Eat, pray, love.
Where else are you going to find books like this? Nowhere. Grocery stores only.
Have higher sales than even the best sellers. So it's critical that both of them reordered their out-of-stock titles.
Oy.
Depending upon your store's hardback footage, you may notice other sections.
I'm
Welcome
gonna have
back,
to-
baby.
I'm going to have to keep an eye on how much, because when we go to the grocery store, I'm not really paying attention to how much reading material is on display. Next time, I'm going to see if anything's changed. If this is how much they carry in 2010.
There's no way our Fry's down the street has 3 things of magazines in a giant book area.
We don't pay attention. Like, when do you walk into a store or a Fry's or any grocery store and you go, whoa, where's that bestseller? I'm usually looking for ice or some sort of barbecuable meat or something.
No, I
chips.
can tell you there's not that much area for books.
I don't know. Blind spots are everybody's weak spot, and we don't see our own. I guarantee if we run in there and I put a GoPro on my head and I live stream the whole thing, you'd be blown away by how much reading material is on display. I mean, here's the thing. Their Hot Wheels selection alone dwarfs Target sometimes.
That's true.
You know, it's just surprising, but you'd never know unless you were like, hey, Hot Wheels, they're leading the way.
Thomas O'Malley. You may not know this, but reading is for nerds who get beaten regularly. Team members take notice that no employees or guests are taking it upon themselves to strike or ritualistically spank anyone.
It's true. You got a lot going on.
The displays really do vary by location. My nearest Kroger has teeny books and a mags section, but one by my friend's place is humongous. Yeah, ours is not.
Even so, I bet it's still would be surprising if you just take a look and you go, whoa, that's what's on offer. Because, like, you know, people still use paper checks. Magazines still exist for a reason, I guess.
Envision in my head where it is in our Fry's, and it's where, like, they put the decorations for holidays and the cards, the holiday card, like the birthday cards and
Yeah,
shit.
not for nothing.
It's right there.
Pretty good Halloween selection at the Fry's. And I'm not, not a sponsor, Tubes, but,
Not yet.
Yeah, hey, Fry's.
Such as
Hit me up.
inspirational, cookbook, family living, etc.
An inspirational
For more information
cookbook.
about these additional sections, merchandisers should ask their supervisor.
Willie is looking at the planogram title list. He's starting from the top of the
Work
planogram
the
and
plan,
working
Thomas.
his way down. He knows that any titles not found on this list can be returned. Betty is at the next step, which is servicing the
Jesus,
paperback
look at the
section.
selection, people.
The planograms she's using are specific
Our
for
Fry's
each
probably
store
just
and
has the
based on
Southern
footage,
Power Bottom
number of
or
shelves,
whatever.
and pockets.
Where did Betty get her planograms?
Well, I believe she either contacted
Just
her
work your
supervisor for
planograms,
her
people.
store's
Yeah.
individual planogram, or she downloaded
Planogram.
it from the SMS Biz site.
Here we are in the paperback section, which begins with bestsellers
Dexter.
in the first 4-foot section.
Unlike the hardback sellers, Betty and Willie are merchandising these titles vertically.
For our future merchandisers out there, Be sure to reorder low or out-of-stock titles. And once the titles have moved off the list, at least one facing of each title should be moved to the bottom of the rack into the previous bestseller section.
Competition is getting tight. Both Willie and Betty are moving into the second 4-foot section of paperbacks, which are new releases.
This
really quick, guys. Like, here's the thing. I can appreciate a stupid idea, or not a stupid idea, but like an idea that's lame, like training videos where you go, okay, we're going to make it zany or make it like American Idol. I don't care what type of theme you choose. Like we saw the two sides of the coin for Jewel where it's like, what if you're a bitch or what if you're cool? We get all that. You just really have to commit 100% to it. You can't just read a script and like everybody involved has a 1,000-yard stare. If that's what you have on offer, don't even bother with the bullcrap. Just be like, hey, guess what? It's like literally cans of soup in the other parts of the store. Once we run out or like they get old, we'll move them down and it's like a rotation, right? We don't need to have like, you know, we've seen this done so much better. And like it's why even pick a theme? Like, get someone with maybe not like a showman attitude, just like someone who is either lame enough or, you know, detached enough to put in some goddamn effort. This is nothing. This is a big fat nothing. And like, then you would like the boss would get mad at you for falling asleep during this shit because I'm having trouble keeping my eyes open and I have to watch you guys.
Matt says, one of my students is a librarian. She is literally obsessed with order. It's amazing. She works for an architecture library, so she's perfect for it.
Some people are, you know, they're built to collect the chaos that is the universe and put some sort of codifying, correlative, you know, book on it. It's cool. It's nice, but it just feels like it could, like, I'm not that type of personality, so I can see how if I started to be like, yeah, I'll do this. When you realize that the universe goes on for infinity and you go, well, I won't even take a small bite out of whatever I'm doing. But, you know, that's why we have people doing that. They don't question it. They just love the process. Like Krista. Krista loves doing a bunch of stuff I think is boring. She doesn't question the process. You get in love with the whatever you're doing. There you go. There's a Gulf War veteran. Betty is from a woman's shelter.
What they have in common is a gray outlook on life and an eagerness for Krogerization.
Yeah, the bureaucracy of like anyone who says the words corporate culture that isn't like me or saying it ironically is like gross. Like we have a culture around here. It's like, well, here's the thing. Like a culture typically is like a sugary medium on which you would rub some sort of bacteria-laden thing to get it to grow. In this case, you are that bacteria or mold. The company is the dish, and what's keeping you is that sweet, sweet money.
Yep.
You're nothing more than a bacterial infection, so shut up and enjoy working at Kroger. God damn it, you guys. Stopping this video.
This section includes rising stars, like moi. Impact, opportunity, and hot titles. Again, like me.
Aha, right. Smaller stores may also have series romance in this section. The new release titles change out each month. The third 4-foot section will be feature authors. Stores will receive 3 to 4 titles by the
I thought that said Stranglers in Death.
Same author that should be merchandised together.
That brings us to the children's section, Paula. Again, Willie and Betty are running neck and neck, placing new children's titles.
I forgot that they were even competing for something.
Merchandising a wide variety of
formats. They're trying to be America's next top Kroger merchandiser, which you are supposed to be trying to get interested
I'm a manager.
Such as little golden books and coloring and activity books. If she had received a monthly pre-pack for the children's section, she also would need to refer to the children's
Don't overlap them, you stupid bitch!
That's
no!
something everyone should do.
Looks like Willie's going back to make sure he serviced all cross-merchandising racks.
Like Willie, merchandisers should check these racks
They're competing
each
to not
visit,
be put in
even
the
if they don't
trash.
receive new product. They should make sure
There's a huge
all
compactor in the back, and whoever loses has their Bluetooth and or smock ripped from them, and they're crushed into a cube.
pockets are
They're
full
put into a tote.
and place reorders as needed. If a merchandiser needs to reorder, a reorder form for all items should be faxed or emailed to the correct servicing
Emailed?
book location. Contact your supervisor for this information.
Like all retail stores,
Void where
Kroger stores
prohibited.
participate in various promotions throughout
Whoa,
the
the
year.
best of
That means
2009.
that merchandisers will receive
At
products
this point, that's only a year old.
that should be placed in the
You have
corrugation
20 minutes to move
provided.
your cube.
And
Please
if the
move your
store
cube.
refuses to put it up, Paula,
Merchandisers
Same-
should
same
report
number.
all display
Same number.
refusals to customer service immediately. If for some reason you do not receive corrugation, contact your supervisors so that they
My
can
boxes
either
were
help
totally
locate or
uncorrugated.
replace the display.
God damn
How
it,
are they
not
Hold
staying
the
again.
product
together?
in back stock until the issue has been resolved.
Oh,
Do
it's not even Bead Magazine. It's Bead Style.
Oh.
Man, step into Bead Style Magazine. This looks like, I just watched the movie The Yeti, and this looks like The Yeti. Not trying to throw shade, I don't know who this is. The resolution is so low, but that's exactly what The Yeti looks like.
Do not place it on the main line.
Ah.
If you do this, the
Main line will not be compliant.
That was weird.
Read the weekly newsletter for a list of all current displays.
This country
and
fell
return
apart when we
any
started
not
having to
listed.
check
Once
for
it-
corrugation.
Yeah, we need that corrugation.
again,
Or
Betty
do
and
we?
Willie
I don't
are
know.
visiting and straightening and will place reorders for all sections of
A
the
shopper.
store.
This is grandma's
it's going
butt.
to be close, Paula.
It sure is,
Hey.
Sonny. If at any time a display or fixture
I didn't sign a release. Remove my anus.
that belongs in a Kroger store is missing or damaged, make note of it and contact your
America
supervisor.
corrugate again.
Know
Yeah, that's
that
what I'm going to put on my hat. Maca.
all of the books have been taken off the shelves and are no longer on sale. Our marvelous merchandisers are placing them in their entirety. Again,
throwing them in
don't
the
rip
sour
off
cream.
the covers in the book totes or shopping carts, depending upon the drug GM's preference. Check the
But then, like, where do they go? Like, whatever. It just seems weird to me. Like, physical products that don't go bad. What's the harm? Like, I don't get it. Like, I get why you have to throw a bunch of food away, but if this book's like whatever, like, get a bin or whatever. Why you have to like, oh, our book's back. The $5 mom meal book is not gonna stay on that shelf collecting dust. The
Maybe-
publisher wants it back.
Maybe they are associated with like one of those kind of like how the Target, like the Mesa liquidation place here, they get Target stuff that goes out of stock. Maybe they send that stuff to like, I don't know, some thrifty type store.
I don't know. A lot of this shit doesn't make sense to me, but I just work here, right?
SMS Biz site for additional info regarding
Now the
each
racism
division's
kicks
return
in.
procedures.
Betty added her final touch already by wiping down all of the fixtures serviced.
You just put these books in there, man. Like, how dusty could they be? He's like, whoa, now I got all these fakes. Let me go run and grab a duster, because by the time I get back, they'll be just coated.
by SMS as she filled them. Willie waited until the end. Now he has to run back and clean. This is going to count against him. While Willie is wiping...
Oh, no,
Betty
an old lady sneezed and stroked out in the aisle next door. That's all his fault, and that's going to be taken out of his magazine budget.
has moved onto the checkout. She's calling from the store phone to log
More numbers,
out
more
of the
numbers.
IVR,
1, 2, 3,
and
4,
it looks
5,
like
6.
she's completing the required survey.
Come on. Oh, whoa, she was fast.
The competition is
Meanwhile, Secret Santa slips by looking for a little treat in the middle of July.
done, and the contestants are waiting for the final judgment. Who's going to be America's not-so-idle merchandiser?
Well, it was
Seriously, Willie kept being like a shitheel and a competent worker, but Betty never faltered. And that's the thing. Usually you have like the crappy worker and the good worker. But what we have here is like a guy who is sucking half the time. And the other time he's like going above and beyond. So it doesn't look good for him, right? But fingers crossed.
Betty has soaked each book in bleach, as is Kroger's standard of excellence in
Right.
competitive reading.
You wouldn't want any filthy losers who didn't buy the book to read anything. So yeah, we just destroy it on sight. It was like, what was that movie that, I think it was after last season, where instead of asking to send the film prints back, they were just like burn them in the back of the theater. We don't care.
It was a close contest, but Willie made a few mistakes with his organization and cleanliness.
Way more than
so
Betty.
I'm going to vote no. Simon?
Paula, for once I'm going to agree with you. Willie started out strong, but forgot the details, which you can never do as an SMS merchandiser. Betty, on the other hand,
Never.
was pitch perfect. So it's yes for Betty and no for Willie.
Congratulations, Betty. And Willie, good luck next year.
Fling those bingo
This is
wings.
Bob the announcer, and you've just watched another competition
Now
of
go back
America.
to those magazines.
Bob the announcer? Where's Johnny Gilbert? This guy's... I didn't even remember there was an announcer. We just heard the two voices. Hey, P.S. I tagged in the beginning. That was 20 minutes ago. You may have forgotten about me. 20 minutes recorded time was an hour ago. Real time, people. How do you keep track of this shit?
America's not-so-idle merchandiser.
Let's shake hands for
Good night,
14
everyone.
minutes.
And P.S. You're just on the road to that. You're not America's Next Top Anything. You're this particular Illinois Kroger's next potential top. You now have to go to like the county Kroger championships, state level, then regional, and then you take nationals. So chill. Like we got time. Anyway, moral of the story is that's all for that. However, I do have the A&P coming up next.
Oh, yeah. Please go back to the SMS business website and click on the merchandiser assessment tool.
Right, and that's the thing. Like the industries that produce the crap that we use or buy or eat or drink or whatever, they can't just make it and let us figure out when it's good, bad, or indifferent. Because stupid people will be like, you didn't expressly tell me that this rotten meat was rotten and when it would be rotten, so now I'm suing you. So we have to do that stupid shit. And it's just like another layer to our dumb bureaucracy where like some checks and balances I get, like you want to be like, hey, good news, it's good for 2 years, and maybe give it a sniff test every whatever. Like if you pop it 12 months after the use by date, give it a sniff. If you don't immediately hurl or see something fuzzy or gross or whatever growing in it, knock yourself out because you're probably fine. But the fact that we have to like play it safe because people, you know, and that's the thing, you don't say to anybody. Hoarders have yogurt in their fridge from whatever. Every grandmother everywhere has something from the 90s still in their pantry that they can pull out and eat at any moment. Let's be real about this shit, people. That's just the way life is. Anyway, buckle up. Now it's time for a little bit of A&P. Trading. And here's the thing. I guess it's the Great Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company. I'm just learning this. Spoiler alert. You're about to learn it. Boop. Well, he was never seen again. Yeah, they threw his ass in a ditch. He was the next bottom merchandiser. They threw soil on him in the pet cemetery. Then he came back Stephen King style and murdered Betty. And the one human announcer. So this is preventing shrink, which is customer and or employee theft. Well, you shrink your inventory, but your inventory on paper doesn't. You ever walk through a store when they're doing inventory? Because every 6 months to a year or whatever, any big store will have to do that. When I worked at a pet store, we had to do that. You'd, like for display models, you couldn't inventory, so there would just be like these dumbass like 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. They would just be like a scribbled DNI for doing an inventory taped to it. It was like the lamest, but you know everybody did it. It's crazy. All right, people, shrink it up. A&P. This guy's serious. We lost so much tang last year. We're going to go under. Uh-oh. Oh, this maybe also covers time theft. Broken carts. Anything where you lose money, I guess, is shrink, people. Lazy bitches.
We'll just give it to you.
All I don't need to pay for pancakes. Marlboros? No, those are Newports. Plus, those should be behind the counter. Hello, you... That man should never have gotten hired. I apologize for you having to watch that.
My pickles.
As long as they're not dills. If they're sweet, I don't care. I'll just walk off with this DVD. What? Time for a little money.
I'll take a
Not
5.
exactly what you'd expect to see occurring in your store, is it?
Makes you sick to your ass, I bet.
Unfortunately, many of these occurrences do happen. The trick is not to let them happen to you.
Not to let them get you
This segment on
down.
loss prevention is a very important part of your orientation. To keep your store operating successfully, your store's product and asset losses must be kept to an absolute minimum. And that means getting familiar with loss prevention. Losses in your store can occur in a number of ways. Through the mishandling of merchandise, through poor housekeeping, through paperwork errors, through shoplifting, through vendor theft or internal theft, even through unclean or unsafe conditions inside and outside your store.
There's like a million ways to lose shit all the time. That's, this isn't new. Here's the thing. When you make everything a mandate, like, here's the thing. When you work at a place that you like, you go out of your way to, like, be good at it. And you like to do the things that people mandate you to do. Mm-hmm. Like when you have to be like, oh, make sure you're a good employee, and by that follow the rules of like, if you see something, you have to like clean it up because you're compelled to. Like, not because you like working here, but because it's there's an SOP for it.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we're starting to break away from now. Not to get too critical about the American like work system, but like, it started out whatever, everybody was doing their own thing. We had to like make everything hyper efficient, and we had to make sure that nothing got lost, and we made sure everybody was forced to care, and there was a corporate culture. Instead of just making it a cool place to work, we wrote a book about how cool it was.
Yeah.
But it was half rules. So it wasn't cool, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Anybody who gets treated like this is going to just be one of these statistics, because you go, make sure... You get treated like a number, especially at A&P. That don't even exist anymore. That's,
A&P is largely a New York grovery, so there's going to be a lot of, hey, so what?
Are they still a thing? I didn't know if they were still a thing, because at least out here in the West or the Southwest, they don't exist anymore. I thought they went out of business. But if I'm wrong, shut my mouth.
All of these occurrences contribute to what is known as shrink. That is the value of merchandise that is lost during the process of moving that merchandise from the back door through the front.
Fell off the back of a
This
truck.
tape is going to highlight a number of fundamental loss prevention practices that are very important to all of us.
Why would you lay that bag of chips down horizontally in that bag?
Because it's shrinking.
Shrink adds to the cost of doing business.
Look at all that
This
cheese.
can result in increased prices for our customers. It's a problem that can also steal our store's profits as well as our
broken
jobs.
eggs.
Your efforts with regard to loss prevention fit right in with
The
our
muffins
team
are there,
concept.
stupid.
And that's because everyone from their...
Look at all these old glass bottles of like everything. It was glass. So beautiful. You take for granted stuff that like... I was watching a documentary about glass, essentially, because it was a huge turning point technologically for humans. Because before the invention of like fire hot enough to melt sand and make stuff like glass shit that was impermeable, all you had to do was like wipe it off because nothing could soak in like clay or any other thing that we were using, and we just take it for granted. It's everywhere. You get at the dollar store, but it like gave us a leg up on literally everything we ever do. Like everything we brew is basically in glass because it's so easy. Like imagine being somebody having to like make something in a big clay pot, and then always having the thing you make inside of it, having a little bit of the clay just sort of dissolve.
Yeah.
Because, hello, gross. What was I talking about? Glass. Use glass, people.
A&P doesn't treat you like a number. They treat you like a letter. If you want to be treated like a number, you have to go to the 5 and dime.
Yeah, I don't feel better if, like, my employee number is just a string of letters. I still feel marginalized.
Before we get too far in this seminar, we should mention Joey Peanuts is a known workplace thief, but he's friends with the Castillo goons. So we can't say shit to him. Avoid him if you can.
Guys, watch out. They will break your legs. Just worry about glass.
A valuable contribution to fight shrink. So welcome aboard our loss prevention
Our
team.
war on drugs. We got a war on shrink.
To think to prevent shrink.
Think about shrink and shrink about thinking. Think about shrinking your refreshment.
Before we go any further,
everywhere he goes, there's just going to be bottles of shit. He's like, hey, the Gatorade was nice, but now let's stick to a nice wholesome, like it's a nice warm. I get it. It's a nice tobacco sunrise. It's like the olive oil. There's a little canola oil back there. But what a selection, guys. P.S. Really fine olive oils will be kept in a dark green or brown bottle because sun will, start to break down the molecules. Not for nothing. I'm not trying to throw shade, but don't buy olive oil in clear glass bottles as a rule.
Unless you're going to transfer them into a dark bottle.
But even then, it's been adult. Like if they're not taking care at the end of the product for you, the end user, to be like, hey, we think about you and care about you enough to put our product in a bottle where light will not harm the product. Where did they take the care before?
Did someone say olive oil?
Exactly how it can impact the success of your store.
It's a great
Shrink
fat,
is defined
guys.
as the difference in the value of merchandise received through the back door as
Goodbye,
compared to the
Coca-Cola.
value actually obtained from that merchandise when it leaves through the front door. To explain this
Or
a
the
bit
side
more
door.
clearly, let's take a look at how shrink happens. Here is some typical
Let's watch a dude pick up a Snickers and walk out the door. That was shrink. You watched it.
examples. A case of grape jam falls during transport.
Oh, no.
3 jars break.
Shrinkage.
Since each jar sells for $1.59, your store's loss is $4.77.
My
Christmas bonus is canceled.
A vendor's delivery of potato chips is 3 cases short. The store's receiver didn't check the delivery and missed the shortage. Each case sells for $19.08.
But
the loss from this incident is $57.24.
Yeah, that's a lawsuit.
A grocery clerk carelessly cuts a case of cereal.
Oh, my
2
Kellogg's.
boxes of Rice Krispies are cut and cannot be sold. Since each box sells for $2.09, the loss here is $4.18.
That comes out of his paycheck.
Yo, then here's the thing. There should be a... that's on the delivery dude, right? Hello. This is just here's the thing. Shrink is such a wildly generic topic because, again, like he's saying, any way the product comes in the back door, it doesn't get accounted for, which is a zillion ways.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
You have to remember, $5 was $9,000 when this video
and that's
was
the
filmed.
thing. Back when, 1992, if you blew through $4.18 worth of Rice Krispies, that's 17 tanks of gas in 2023.
Peppers on top of the existing display without rotating the product.
Yeah, rotate, people.
8 pounds of peppers at 99 cents a pound become spoiled. The loss here in produce, $7.92. A deli clerk mistakenly discards an end cut of bologna. 2 pounds at $3.20.
2 pounds? That's not a
Not an end
mistake.
cut.
That's bullshit. Are you kidding me? 2 pounds? hey, 8 ounces, I would go, that's a little dicey. Maybe wait till 6. But 2 pounds?
The pound means a loss of $6.40.
Seriously, that's not that's in order. If someone came in, I wouldn't expect a jaw-dropping reaction to 2 pounds of bologna. And this dude's like, derp. Fuck, dude. He was fired. I'm talking about shrinkage.
He's bopping his baloney.
Come on, guys.
2 pounds? That's not...
A cashier forgets to
Good
check
night,
the bottom
Kayla.
of the carriage and fails
Adios.
to ring a 25-pound
I hope you learned.
bag of dog food. The loss here is $9.99.
Which is a value.
A clerk sees a shoplifter conceal 2
Yoink.
steaks and fails to report the incident to management. The loss here, $18.
And one awesome shirt.
Yeah.
An employee takes a few items almost every day after having his lunch.
He squeezes them into his mullet to keep it full and thick.
This has gone unnoticed for a week until the employee is caught by his manager. The total of the items unpaid for and lost, $7.50. In just these few examples,
Off with
the
his head.
merchandise lost added up to
Oh, we're
a
in the
total
tea
loss
aisle now, I
of
thought.
$120. Now you'll remember
like
from our
snack cakes?
orientation
Cookies and
segment
stuff.
that the
I feel like there was Head and Shoulders back there.
profit on the merchandise we sell
That'd be a
is
confusing
less than
aisle.
a penny on the dollar, less than 1%. That means that the extra sales needed to make up for this loss
Right? Doesn't this look like Head and Shoulders right here? Hello?
It looks like chicken broth.
I'm going to have to ask the Timekeeping Square because it's like Head and Shoulders, and it's like Little Debbie's, like funny snack cakes that didn't last long, and like weird jasmine tea. Like, this is a crazy aisle. You made a bad choice. Go to the
comes to
cereal.
over $16,000. And even if that enormous amount of extra sales were to occur, your store's profit would still be zero. And that's a problem.
That's okay. So yeah, Ryan Maxwell, like having that entanglement with a steak stealer. I can't believe how often that happens. Like, I can't. Okay, that's the thing. Like when you start thinking about things, true crime, there is definitely a hierarchy of stuff, and I can't imagine falling so far down a ladder that I'm like cramming cuts of beef from a grocery store into my greasy jacket and then like running out over the children and mothers just there to pick up applesauce and shit.
For everyone.
Stop, shrink, or else.
Right from your first day on the job, a little bit of common sense and pride in what you do will be a tremendous help to your store's loss prevention efforts.
Yeah, so come on, just take a little pride, guys. Like, we're meeting you halfway by telling you should have it, so just get it already. I mean, have a nice place to work inherently. Shut the fuck up. Have some pride.
He's a steak stealer. Sounds like some shit cowboys would yell at each other to instigate a gunfight.
Oh, absolutely. You'd get killed for stealing a horse, and a cow was even worse because you could eat those. Like, it's nice to have something to ride, but cows are delicious. Flip of a coin, we could have had a weird Wild West.
There's a lot you can do throughout your store to help control shrink. Let's take a quick tour.
Stop stealing. Step 1.
First stop,
there we go.
Our biggest department. Here, a couple of helpful tips and a little bit of common sense will go.
Look at all the muted colors of the sodas, though. Like that looks like Diet Mountain Dew. We got Diet Pepsi and caffeine free. A little bit of Orange Crush. It's all just so bland. 1992 was not popping like on store shelves, but the early 90s were all about like, aggressive triangles and squiggles and circles and like yellows and purples and shit. I don't remember it being so like, this is a sad place to be.
Go a long way towards minimizing potential losses. First, keep an eye out for any merchandise that is in danger.
The no symbol was originated in Europe? Everything came from Europe, so I buy that. Almost completely unknown to the Ghostbusters. And that I'll have to check on that. It seems a little fishy because like a no smoking sign definitely showed up before Ghostbusters. I saw it on Airplane.
Danger of becoming damaged. In addition to reducing shrink, this can also
My
prevent
sugar
loss
baby
due to potential employee or customer accidents. Remember, keeping your store neat will help to keep it safe. When using a case cutter, be sure to open all cases carefully.
Case
Besides
closed.
preventing injury to yourself, handling this tool correctly will help to prevent damage to the merchandise inside.
Yeah, watch out when it gets dark out, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Anyway, moving on.
To prevent potential loss or misuse by customers, don't leave price guns, vendor price stickers, paid stickers, or...
Here's the thing. This is in the era firmly of barcodes. So if I saw like a weird code or a weird sticker on something that wasn't ringing out, I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, why would Oreos be at like 14 cents or whatever? It was a hastily scribbled sticker, so I guess the computer's wrong.
or any other material used to label or price
Oh man,
merchandise.
this could be like Thanos' glove in the hands of the wrong person.
Unattended.
The whole grocery store would be like 99 cents.
We want to be able to control. Another tip is to avoid placing price stickers on removable lids or plastic covers.
Boop.
This will help to prevent
Does it
customers
match?
from
It's a completely
placing
different
lower
color,
price
and I
lids
buy it.
on more expensive items. If you see any stray items, especially perishables, that a customer may have left in the aisle, return
God
it to
damn
the
it! This
appropriate
wet
department
chicken is
immediately,
leaking all over these little Debbie
especially
snack
items that
cakes.
require refrigeration.
That is personally infuriating, though. We've all seen that, right? Where you see like those like personal milks that are whatever between 8 and 16 ounces. They'll be half drunk, left somewhere. You know, some asshole was just like walking around and ditched it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I get whatever. It's the spirit of the law, the letter of the law, and like when you see a kid open a box of crackers or cookies and they're eating them in line, you know the parents are going to pay for it. That still irks me a little bit. Because, like, hello, you haven't paid for it yet. What if your card is declined? What if you're just an asshole?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, personal milks. I'll take one
Like a
personal milk.
Yoo-hoo.
You walk into a grocery store and you say, which way to your personal milk? They go, well.
Well.
It's on tap, if you know what I mean.
Here, too. Simply being alert to situations.
Keep an eye on people who become mysteriously and suddenly pregnant because turkeys are expensive.
Situations that could cause product to be damaged will help in reducing shrink.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure product is stacked neatly on the shelf to avoid falling and being damaged. And keep an eye out for any leaking packages that could also damage surrounding merchandise.
Gross.
In general, try to keep the dairy case clean
I
and
prefer
odor-free.
impersonal milk.
Mm-hmm.
Check to see that all cooler doors remain closed so that perishable products will stay fresh.
Are you guys in the area where a grocery store has those cases that light up when you walk down them?
It's weird.
It is weird, and I kind of like them because like they're slowly becoming a thing in more and more places. I think it's cool because like it sort of feels like, you know, not to pull nerd references, but like entering the Great Hall as the shredder, as like it just goes whoosh, like this line of things, and like the sparkling ice crystals on like bags of frozen potatoes and slim fat or like lean cuisines and stuff, and you go, you know, I'm among friends, and there's some frozen cherries over there, frozen novelties like those Flintstone push pops, or you get a bomb pop or whatever. You go, whoa, gives you a little bit of power. I like it. Am I overblowing it? Maybe. I don't know. Jesus.
Maybe.
Stop asking.
I recognize that Minute Maid container from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, is it they? What's up? Juice. Beetle.
Product that requires refrigeration or that must be kept
Beetlegeist.
frozen should not be allowed to warm or thaw while stocking.
Duh.
All dairy and frozen products should be rotated. That means that items
That
with
means
the
you
earliest
spin them
expiration
counterclockwise.
date should be placed at the front of the case to ensure they are sold first. Also,
Unless you see those fucking snooty ass old bitches who stick their rakely old claws to the back to get the newest ones. How old are you? How long do you need your food to last? Take them from the front.
alert to
Blue
return
hairs.
any misplaced refrigerated items to their proper spot in the display
Gotta
case.
get this ice cream back fast.
And be sure to observe your store's load stacking
Hey,
limits
bird's
to
eye
prevent
vegetables,
spoilage.
quality product.
Always take special
Seal
care
test.
when
I didn't
handling
study.
eggs. One broken egg in a carton will keep
Can spoil the whole bunch.
a customer from buying the whole dozen. And one broken egg on the floor
Is worth two in the bush.
could cause an accident.
Whenever a door
Possibly
automatically opens for me or an aisle lights up as I draw closer, I just imagine how many third world people somehow collectively died for me to have this magic.
Right, but you can't think about that. I mean, we all live on the shoulders of the giants of the past, and they're all dead. So if you think about that, then yeah, you're walking on corpses constantly. You gotta swap that mindset. Sure, yeah, because you have it great, other people have to suffer, but you don't think about that all the time. You think about broken eggs and how dangerous they are.
So dangerous.
So dangerous.
Alert the manager in charge should you think that any refrigeration or freezer unit is operating improperly. Being alert
This one
can
called
help
me
to
the
prevent a
N-word,
significant
sir.
loss of
Oh.
merchandise.
Well, that's my manager. Ooh, we're entering the back rooms. This guy's going to get spirited away by a malignant spirit.
He's going to get received in the back door.
There's plenty of opportunity to prevent shrink back here.
Look at it
First
all.
of all, when you're working the back room,
Don't
good
shrink this.
housekeeping is essential. Keeping this area neat and orderly.
Hey man,
will
these
ensure
boxes
that
are slightly
merchandise does
ajar.
not get mixed up or
Shrinkage.
damaged.
This is the same box crusher that Michael Scott got almost killed in.
And will provide for a safer place in which to work. Keeping the receiving area orderly will also reduce the
Whoa,
opportunity
these are slightly
for
askew
loss
too.
as vendors deliver shipments. Control all salespeople and vendors in the back
With leashes if necessary.
room areas. Limit their access.
Oh, look, this is Egon. That's Egon Spangler before he joined the Ghostbusters.
Your store's
Winston
designated vendor
Sedamore.
staging area.
Honey, I
marked area
shrunk
of
the
receiving
shrink.
room.
Whoa!
Remember, it's your
Rick
area.
Moranis is the most
Protect it.
boring Disney movie.
Make sure all receiving doors are locked and alarmed when unattended. If you should see
Stay
any
out.
strangers in the back room area,
Oh, hey.
ask them for identification and notify your manager
Yeah, it's right here, bitch. It's my highway hat.
immediately. Carefully
Notify
count
your
all
manager.
incoming
Hey, there's a guy in a
shipments
blue shirt
and make
back
sure
here.
you receive what you signed for. Each
Does this
carton
guy
should
know
be
we
opened
just opened another carton of eggs and replaced the shitty egg with a better egg?
Pete Davidson. Yeah, you should just like look for all the broken ones, throw those into the dozen, disseminate the rest, send it back to the manufacturer.
Yep.
And P.S. They probably already thought of that because if they send back, oh, magically dozen eggs broke all at once, whoops. Suspicious.
checked for proper contents and checked off item by item. And never accept
Item by
personal
item?
gifts or samples from a vendor. You don't want to give the appearance to your manager or your team members that you are engaging in any improper
No, I can't accept 2 bags of pirate booty. I would lose my job.
practice. Handle all merchandise carefully. Just because it's in a large shipping carton doesn't mean it can't be damaged by improper or careless handling. If merchandise should become
my
damaged,
diapers.
alert your supervisor to the problem immediately.
They'll love to hear about
Also,
it.
never throw away any product, no matter how damaged it might look, without first checking with your manager. And report to your manager if you should find
What
any
the
saleable or
heck?
credit merchandise in the trash container. And try to be conscientious when you use supplies.
Hi, I was just going to pull some stuff off the shelf here.
When a supply item is taken from a shelf and not recorded as being used, it is unaccounted for and shows up as
Oh, let me guess where you got this from, Gary. Put it back.
shrink. Use only the specific
We have a stockroom for a reason, numbnuts. Like, is this your first day? I hope not.
provided.
Be sure to notify your manager if you witness any occult or voodoo behavior in your coworkers. We can't have our guests believing we endorse black magic anymore.
Yeah, you see, like, the blood of a black pullet and some feathers around a dude's mouth. You see something, say something. You hear some bleeding of a goat in the back room. You know, no animals on the premises aside from select service animals. Select.
Shrink can take a big bite out of profits in all of these departments.
How? It's so small.
All of the merchandise sold in these departments is perishable. And that means extra care must be taken when handling or displaying these types of foods. Make sure to practice good
not like this. Oh, guys, we got macaroni on display. Anyone want to look?
housekeeping and product handling practices in these areas.
Oh, no, a free display of
Product on the
vomit.
floor can be a
Ruined.
safety hazard and can result in even greater
Ugh.
losses.
I can almost
Of course,
smell that.
all of the food sold in these departments is susceptible to contamination by bacteria. So cleanliness
literally
and proper
everywhere.
sanitation is extremely important, as is proper rotation. And as in the dairy and frozen
Make sure you
food
lock
areas,
up your
if you
donuts at
suspect
night.
that
Oh, wait,
any
that's a
refrigeration
thermostat.
unit isn't working properly, alert your manager. When slicing and weighing a customer's order, do so carefully and accurately.
Try not to jam your hand into the blade like the wrestler did in The Wrestler. Right? You guys saw that movie. Wipes
This
it all
will
over his
ensure that
face.
The customer gets what they pay for,
Genius.
and your store receives
Emotional
the proper
support
payment
code.
for the merchandise sold.
Yep,
the
that's
deli
cheese.
department,
Oh, you want some ambrosia salad? Blech.
salads should be turned frequently to keep them fresh and
Yep.
saleable.
Turn in the barf salad, Captain.
In the seafood department, products should be kept moist and displayed according to proper
More
procedures.
lettuce.
In general, the products sold in these departments require extra care to ensure their freshness and saleability.
I'm the fish water.
and to minimize the shrink associated with product loss.
Think about shrink.
Toss your salad at all times.
Yeah, you always got to keep that salad tossing because as soon as it hits the ground, you don't want to eat it anymore. No, but like the thing about like this industry in particular is like literally everything in your store has like a more or less shelf life. And I can't imagine like, because here's the thing, just think about this. Because the stuff that makes it to the grocery store has to be like the best of the best. There's like a grading system that starts at the farms or wherever, and they have to get to a certain grade and then go through a bunch of other shit and then make it all the way. So what I'm getting at is like by the time you see this shit at the grocery store, like a third or maybe more has just like gone away to be something else, mashed up because it was ugly and it needs to be a jam or something. Or maybe they just go, into a dumpster too. Who knows? I'm sure not everything can be like an episode of Dirty Jobs and they just truck it out to like some pigs in Vegas. But like, I can't imagine because like, just like, there must be, I want to know what the procedure is for like getting rid of all the rotten stuff that just sits out. Because like peppers and all this stuff with high sugar stuff like the fruits, they go bad super quick. Like onions or potatoes, they may be there for a couple of days or whatever. But like the high sugar stuff would just be rotten. And you're not going to send that back to the manufacturer. Like leave the covers on if you want. I'm still going to want a fucking fuck ton of rotten blueberries. What's that all about? The turnover. The apple turnovers.
In the produce department, shrink can be minimized simply by handling all items carefully. If product looks damaged or bruised, customers will simply put it aside and it will go unsold, creating a loss for your store.
Don't bruise the fruit.
Also, you'll need to rotate these items, as you would with any perishable product. Remember, if you wouldn't buy it yourself, you can't expect a customer to want it. This is especially true when it comes to salad bars. If your store has one,
turn and toss those salads.
And looking appetizing. Good housekeeping in this department will also minimize loss.
I'll just save these in my pocket.
Unnecessary customer or
minimize shrink.
Accidents.
Don't squeeze the Charmin.
Ooh, the front end. It's the most exciting end.
Most certainly not least is the front end. To make sure this area is running smoothly, your front-end manager will periodically perform a spot check at your register. These checks help to check on your accuracy as well as the accuracy of our systems.
Hey, have you let anything through that you didn't scan? A few things. Well, let's tighten up that ship, right?
If you're working here in the front end, you're going to be handling merchandise and money. Both should be handled properly. First, let's talk about handling and ringing merchandise. While many of our stores,
like a good sponge, you'll need to wring it really tightly.
Have automatic scanning devices at the checkout.
Smashing people's eggs. Bread, loaves of bread. Ringing them up for you, boss.
Here are some helpful hints to help reduce shrink at the front end.
Don't give things away for free.
Make sure to scan or ring all items. Nothing contributes more to shrink than allowing an item to leave the store unpaid for.
If you didn't hear that beep, it could seep into shrink. I'm working on the rhyme. Please give me some time.
Keeping this in mind, be sure to check the bottom of all carts for items a customer may have placed there. And be sure
you could have lost $10 in dog chow, Susan.
Remove all circulars to
My
check
God,
for
the
any
Polaroids
beneath. Always be sure to
Small
ring each
beans.
item under the correct
Jonah
department
crabs.
and at the correct price. If you're not sure about produce identification,
Throw it away. They don't really need it. And hello, just look up ginger. You don't have ginger on the...
ask your front
What
end
is this
manager.
weird thing?
I got a hand of
If an
ginger
item
here.
doesn't scan and isn't marked, don't guess at the price.
Simply throw it back in their face and tell them they can't have it.
It's $713 million.
When bagging your customer's order, do so with care. Broken or damaged items will most likely be returned by an unhappy customer, causing a loss for your store.
Just putting your
in more
lottery
ways than
ticket,
one.
your mayonnaise, your dog
Proper
biscuits, your
bagging is
beef
really just an
jerky,
extension
your
of
heart
good customer
medication.
service.
Just
Looks like
add
we
some
got
cheese in there, too.
Altoids here.
Let's talk about handling money. First and foremost, handle all cash, checks, coupons, and other forms of payment carefully and properly. You're going to be responsible for the contents of your cash drawer.
Oh, really?
So always make it a practice to lock your drawer if you should leave your register area for any reason.
Don't give anybody money even though they swear they'll be right back with it.
Only accept checks that meet your store's requirements. If you're unsure about a check from a customer, simply ask your front-end manager. Always take the time to count your customer's change properly. This will ensure that you'll end your shift with the correct amount of money in your drawer. And remember, it's company policy that you must never check out a friend or relative.
Don't worry, it's our policy.
Your trainer will go into each of these areas in greater detail.
Never check out a friend or relative.
Yeah, I mean, the friend, I don't understand, but the relative, obviously. I mean, you get so many genetic abnormalities.
Alertness to certain situations and a little bit of common sense can help your store and your team a great deal more than you might imagine. Let's take a look at
If something doesn't ring up, no matter how much the customer insists, no, that doesn't mean it's free. In fact, it means it's double the price now, filthy food neater.
Here's what I would do. Like, in a hilarious comedy world, I would just have, like... there's no way around it. It would be wildly dangerous, but just like a huge grinder where if like somebody was a bitch or like something wouldn't ring up and they were throwing shade instead of just being cool. Here's the thing. I would also have to have the sweet with the sour. If they were cool about it, I'd be like, whatever, we'll let it slide. But if someone is a bitch, like, just to prove a point, I will take the shrinkage, I will take the loss, and I will toss that product into the giant shredder in front of the person throwing a bitch fit and then ban them from the store.
Nice.
I said, you and I both don't get it. I'm the opposite of King Midas. I will cut the baby into quarters and then grind up all four.
Never say, I guess this is about right.
Never. You never want to guess. Robert Stack. Somewhere in Illinois, a man pulls a sticker off a piece of meat. A man nearby watches on. The mystery, it's unsolved. Nice tactic, asshole. I'm telling my manager. Hey, boss.
There's a guy in aisle 6 who's changing the price label on a package of meat.
I thought I should tell you first.
Why don't you point him out to me?
It was him, sir.
Remember, if you see or suspect a customer of shoplifting, do not take action yourself.
Good night, Ryan Maxwell. Wollongate, never. Because there's no gate.
Forever.
His shoe never left.
You observed. Your manager.
Oh, look at all the fun generic candies. We got the butterscotches and the orange slices, and like there's some gumdrops and those disgusting like mint spears. Who the fuck? God, like wintergreen and mint. Like, no, it's not a candy. It's not. It's makes your breath better. That's why toothpaste is minty. You people who eat mint chocolate chip and mint recreationally, it's horrifying.
Manager will take it from there. The best way you can help prevent shoplifting is to provide exceptionally good customer service.
Hover.
If you see a customer that you have your doubts about, ask if you can be of assistance. The best defense is to let the customer know that you are aware of their presence.
I want you to summon the shredder. I'll steal these.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am. You're looking a bit shifty. You were thinking about slipping something into your purse?
Hi. May I help you with something?
No. Just, looking, thanks.
Okay. Have a nice day.
Now I'll have to not get this headache taken care of. I can't spend $12 on Tylenol. A&P prices? Are you kidding me?
Customer, they will probably think twice about trying to steal from your store.
Or before touching your girl.
And if, like most of our customers, they have honest intentions, well, they'll be just as pleased with your efforts to assist them. Either way, you and your store...
Prices and participation may vary, right? Because sometimes you're finding everything you need exactly, and someone wants to be like, can I help you? And I go, no. And I go, are you sure? And they go, no, it's in my hand literally right now. And then they won't shut the fuck up. I just want to leave.
Or you are at a store where you don't know what you're looking for, and...
that's a different situation. Walking into a place that has no purpose, staffed by... charitably, at times, the mentally subnormal, you are going to go into those situations. I'm talking about average, mediocre, middle-of-the-road people where you would obviously walk in for something. I'm not going to walk into a Goodwill and be like, yeah, where's your dress shoes? No, I'm here to pick around for goofy shit. Mindful, yeah. Watch out for any child abductions. You see any children screaming and being whisked out of the store, tell your manager, before your first break.
Hey, Chris. These are great. What do you think? I'll grab a bag.
I'm a fucking stealer, bro.
Clearly, this type of situation is unacceptable.
Yeah, Jerry, Doritos are great, but do you think we should take them without paying? That's shrink.
As we covered earlier, any type of product loss affects your store
Oh,
negatively.
those beautiful watermelons over his right shoulder.
So big. Explain the proper
Little honeydew action. Here's the thing. Honeydew, not one of the best melons out there, man. You can't see them because they're behind my head. But honeydew can get it every once in a while. It's not great. It's a very tight window for honeydew to be good. Cantaloupe is good all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Watermelon, sometimes it'll get that grainy sort of thing going on, so it can be hit or miss, but you just know how to thump them, check for the color and the weight, and you're basically set.
I never liked honeydew.
I don't know the formula, but they'll either be smash you in the face with pleasure to the moon, or you're eating like a rotten garbage sphere that might as well be sitting in the back of a dumpster and you're fighting over it with a raccoon. Saying.
To eat or drink while at your store.
Stop drinking.
The key point to remember is don't become involved in anything that is less than honest. If you're aware of someone
I don't know, this is so less than honest.
That is less than honest, do them a favor and tell them to stop.
Also, let them know that the mullet isn't ever cool. I realize it's never going to die, and some people you just can't tell because some people are going to wear it ironically, some people have no sense of fashion, and some people listen to idiots and take bad advice. But every chance you get as a human, tell the people you know with mullets to knock it off.
Taking this simple step will let them know that you are uncomfortable and that they are at risk. After all, their reputation and future, and possibly yours, are at stake. We understand that many people don't like to get involved in these types of situations. The trouble is, once you know about...
Once they catch on that he's been stealing a bag of Doritos once a week for the past 14 years, and he's on the hook for literally dozens of dollars, how are you going to sleep at night?
You are involved. We clearly understand some people's reluctance to confront a co-worker in these matters.
Snitches get stitches.
Your trainer will explain how you should report any activity that you feel is detrimental to your store and your team.
Here's the thing. Two sections ago, he said last but not least the front end. And now we're not getting any closer to the end. I feel like, why did he say that, right? Is this what's happening? Last but not least, and by that I mean we got 4 more segments for 17 more minutes. So buckle up, but last.
The store itself is also an important element in thinking to prevent shrink. In your community, your store is an important asset.
This is like a mafia warehouse now. This is where some dude is going to get back here somewhere. He's going to get tied to a chair and have both of his legs broke.
That's why we asked
some motherfucking A&P employee in 1990 was eating a bag of shrinked Pringles from aisle 8 while they played this at him in an employee break room.
Yeah, totally. He's cramming that sleeve as fast as he can with a personal bottle of shrunken Minute Maid.
Follow company policies, including smoking only in designated areas.
Don't ash into the fish section.
Any potential problems.
Always wear your cool golf caps.
Situation that you think needs attention, report it to your manager at once.
Sometimes up to 3 times.
We are committed to providing a clean and safe environment for our customers to shop in and for you to work in.
We did it! We thought about shrunk.
As with any aspect of your job, don't hesitate to ask your manager or other...
Not for nothing, but you see how these people are spending so much time talking about this is the kind of bullshit that goes on in every office, everywhere. You know it, I know it. And it's annoying that they're capturing it. So here's the thing. I'm not throwing shade, but here's a story that'll happen in an office or anywhere else where people get bored. But if someone leaves on vacation and while they're gone, someone throws a bunch of confetti or something in their office or their cube or whatever, just know you're going to hear about that from everybody all the time for the rest of your life because nothing ever happens. And that's the thing. I don't want to turn into one of those people who like you know that they're both this man and this man are pretty invested in the shrink and the loss of this diaper because they've become lost. And that's the thing. It's so sad that some people have bought into this and they've drunk the corporate Kool-Aid or whatever. Like they just become good at being business people. And so it's nothing more than like, oh, what, this for the company, or like, oh, you stay out of trouble, or you buy. It's just like this whole G-rated bullshit where like, it's like the Disney towns and villages in the Disney movies after the main characters leave and everybody is just this wholesome saccharine. And you go, God.
Other members of the management team to assist you with any loss prevention effort. And remember, no matter where you work.
Not for nothing either. This is a 20-minute video, and they couldn't shoot enough B-roll to keep us from seeing the same peppers 3 or 4 times, the same diapers. Like, this isn't even a greatest hits. It's not even hits. It's like the pepper parade.
They don't have a lot of shrinkage at this particular A&P.
Well, I don't care about shrinkage. This is about coverage. This is B-roll. You're not shooting something shrinking. You're shooting the products in the store. And they were like, oh, goddamn, we literally forgot to shoot everything but 3 things. And so we've seen this, another 17 hours of peppers gone down the drain. Footage lost.
Or how good you are at what you do. We know that
it does kind of remind me of OCP too, the RoboCop thing, where it's like everything is just slightly. We're like, that's the thing. Everybody's worst imagining of dystopian is like everybody, not just like bureaucratic workers or people at large companies being relegated to numbers. Like, oh no, the public at large is now just a number, like in RoboCop. He's like, oh, I'll buy that for $1, but there's still some funny shit happening.
That mistakes can and do
My
happen.
pickles. Oh.
The biggest mistake you can make, though, is
Cutting
hiding or
Rice
not correcting
Krispies
it.
boxes.
Yeah.
This is
Stop
especially
it.
true if you price something incorrectly or even damage some merchandise inadvertently. Let your manager know. They will be happy to help you correct the mistake.
And write you up.
Yeah,
As you've
basically,
seen during
it's like
this
do your job,
presentation,
right?
There are many ways you can help to.
Here's the thing. I don't think training videos like this work because, like, if you're the type of person who does, take pride in their job, you're not going to get it from a video from a job.
Right.
Like, if you're a shitty employee, you're going to be a shitty employee and you decide to just be competent or whatever. All this seems to do is like really bolster the people who are already switched on to a corporate lifestyle or whatever, like being a cog, while it alienates literally everybody else. Because like, oh, come on, you need to get involved. Like, we're all a team. And like, I've only ever felt like I was a team member at places who never told me I was on a team or part of a family. Yeah. All the places who were like, yeah, do whatever. We will trust you to do your job, right? And I go, well, that's how shit works. But stuff like this where it's like, oh, if anything you see, go tattle and tell your manager, always be on the lookout for all these terrible things that are always going to shrink away. It's just going to make you go like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, you're working minimum wage. Like, when I was my first job, I was working minimum wage, $6.10 an hour at this big indoor amusement park, and they're like, yeah, have fun and be cool, and like all these corporate mandates that were like, make sure everything's clean. You're always smiling. And the thing is, when you're hiring exclusively like 16-year-olds and you're telling them, always be happy, like, I can't think of a demographic that is outside of that need. You know what I mean? But whatever. You can't teach someone to be anything. Like, they have to want it. You can't be like, oh, watch this video. Now you can be considered as certified or whatever. Yeah. Like, all they can verify is that you were there and saw it or something.
You were physically there and watched it.
Nothing says that you're not going to be a shitheel afterwards. Like, you may get a certificate. You may be a certified shitheel. It doesn't matter.
Have you guys heard of Omega Man?
Omega Mart.
Oh, Omega Mart. Sorry.
I have not heard of Omega Mart, but I have heard of Omega Man. Charles Bronson? Not Charles Bronson. Charles, the gun guy. Planet of the Apes. Heston. Charles Heston. Chuck Heston.
Chuck Testa?
Chuck Testa. Nope, just Chuck Testa.
Loss prevention efforts in reducing shrink. Take pride
Pick
in
up your sugar,
store
wipe your
and in
stuff
own
off,
role
and
as a member of our loss
talk about
prevention team.
spreadsheets.
We need you out there. So always remember to think to prevent shrink.
Yeah.
We did it.
Did it.
We thought about it, and we shrunk about it. Jesus Christ. I get like some stooge somewhere has to be like, tell people not to steal. But all this is what we like to tout as common sense, right? Like if I get hired at a grocery store and I walk in wearing this suit and I go, hey, I'm here to clean up messes because jam falls off of shelves, as do pickles, and I'm here to do things about it. Like, I feel like it would be intuitive. Like part of my job as working there was just sort of being there and doing the things that make it run. But you can't make people want to do that. So you as the manager, like if you're wearing a suit and tie like me, when I'm like doing interviews or whatever, I look for someone I need. If I'm looking for someone who is willing to throw themselves into a job, I look for that. If I'm looking for someone who's here to check in and check out but not really give a fuck, it's the onus is on you. But I can't take someone who doesn't give a fuck and make him watch a bunch of stupid fucking videos and turn him into the person that I should have hired, which is the person who gave a fuck. Hello? No amount of like training will make a bad employee good. You can make a good employee better, or you can make a mediocre employee passable if the drive is there. But if there's no drive and they don't give a shit, you're basically just spending your time and energy and their time with VHS cassette after VHS cassette that's like, what did you learn? I don't know. Nothing. No one cares.
Allison posted that video in our Discord.
Nice.
Interactive grocery store art exhibit.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. But yeah, so that's it, guys. You are now certified in shrinkage in the AMP and also magazines. How long is that skill? But that was in 2010,
And books.
That skill is still kicking. Yeah, books.
Hard and paper. Back.
People are always going to want physical objects. I don't care what. That's the thing. There's no such thing as like killing something because you're just making a replication of it in a different way. Like when cars came along and horses all but dried up as modes of transportation, it wasn't like, whoa, no, now we don't have horses. People still have horses. It's just something better came along.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I started down that road, but moral of the story is we're done. We've learned about it. I'm tired. My managerial, what do you call it? I'm at the end of my managerial rope. Let's call it that. You guys have been really taxing. What was stopping the videos all the time and asking these questions and like not understanding what the training was even about at times. Like it was like if I should have had a bigger coffee mug, like just full of bourbon. No, just kidding. You guys were great. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope you enjoyed it. I've got more to go through, and I think my personal favorite have been the fast food.
Yeah, me
ones.
too.
Because they get it. I mean, they make it at least entertaining and fun. Like this is just like, but this is what happens. Everybody you meet who takes an interest in like work basically is sort of white bread, right? Unless they have a job that allows for a personality. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, your only friends are work friends, and when you're not at work, you're talking about work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm desperate to not talk about work when I'm not at work. But the way those guys were holding those diapers, it just feels like every time they go to the pizza place around the corner for a beer, and like they have those beautiful little shakers of the red pepper flakes and the mozzarella cheese, and they like, yeah, we'll get a couple of Bud Light, and as soon as they wipe the first foam mustache off their face, and like the trickle of like sports talk and everything sort of dies out, and they go, wasn't it crazy how ripped up that package of Huggies was? And they go, right? And they toast their beers and they go on living that life.
Thomas says, my wife just pulled a string cheese out of the fridge, so I screamed shrinkage and sprayed her with the 409Z employee of the month.
Got to prevent shrinkage even in your own house, guys. It's an important thing. That's why we watched the whole video on it. When a product comes in your front door, make sure it's not going out the back door. Or vice versa. You know, your house is like a shrinking market or something.
All right, Allison. Well, maybe we'll watch that training video live.
We'll see what we got. I've got a bunch of stuff we can do. The fast food ones, again, are my favorite because these knuckleheads at grocery stores don't know how to keep a guy entertained. That guy being me. And that's all I got for you. So let me make sure I've got everything lined up No, since this is Saturday, it's weird. Next time you see us, it'll be the usual time, and that's it. Let me get back to the usual thing, because otherwise you're going to hear this. That's not what we want to hear. So, guys, I will see you next time.
Bye.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.